This is Yusuf here, and I want to wish all the Western Christians Happy Easter. Getting to some things, this is some stuff that I covered a little bit in some of my videos, but not very much. I mentioned that Orthodoxy has affected many other faiths, many other religions, and many people don't even know about it. And I also mentioned there's a certain group of Pharisees that still exists that pray a certain way that is almost a model for us how not to pray. I'm going to go into that more. In The Simpsons, they did this thing where Krusty the Clown was in Israel or whatever. I hate the new Simpsons. The Simpsons really have sucked for the last 10 years. There's really no good Simpsons episodes. You know, about over 10 years, probably since 2000, 2001, there hasn't been a good Simpsons episode. But he's in Israel or whatever, and he's like, well, I should make a pilgrimage to Jerusalem in case I go to hell. And Lisa goes, Jews don't believe in hell. Yeah, they do. Yes, absolutely. And I know everybody's going to go, no, man. There's a lot of stuff in the Talmud that says Jesus and John the Baptist and the Virgin Mary, who's not considered a virgin by them, are in a place boiling in either excrement or semen, depending on the translation. So I don't know about, they don't believe in hell. If you take all the passages that Jesus talks about the Pharisees, and you apply them to the modern day people who claim to be the descendants of the Pharisees and actually have these books called the Sanhedrin and all this stuff about the Sanhedrin, the Pharisees down through the ages. These are the people who came around with the Council of Jamna with, you know, slicing of the Bible, and then the Protestants said, oh, that's good, that's a good Christian text, as opposed to the Septuagint, what they were using for, I don't know, ever. People who get up in the morning and pray, God, thank you, you did not make me a Gentile, a woman, or a dog. And I've heard people, oh, that's not true. And I said, okay, a Gentile or a woman. Well, they don't say it all the time. Yeah, no, I'm dead serious when I talk about this. Somebody said, oh, the afterlife that the Orthodox talk about is a lot like those people. No, their first writings about something like that have been very late, where we've always believed all souls go back to God. They actually did have this idea of reward and hell. And then their afterlife is studying the Torah. That's what they're going to do forever, is study the Torah. These are people who worship the Torah. These are idolaters. What did Christ say? The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The law was made for man, not man for the law. This foolishness of oh, well, the law is divine, or the Hebrew letters can bring life into things, or a chosen people. This has nothing to do with Christianity. Yet there are many Protestants out there like John Hagee, and I'm not saying every Protestant believes in John Hagee, but he's one of them that thinks backing Israel has to do with Christianity. Backing the modern state of Israel has to do with Christianity. Christianity, if you're a Christian, you are Israel. You are the only remnant of Israel left as Christians, part of a collective thing. It's not individualism. It's no, you are part of ancient Israel, and these people who claim to be Israel yet worship the law or the Torah, they're not. They're cut off because they rejected Christ. This may be a heavy thing for certain people to deal with. It's not a very heavy thing for me to deal with, though, because I could see these people as liars and idolaters. And I mean, it's kind of funny. It's hatred of Christianity, because how many people who were I don't know, you always see an awful lot of comedians who are descended from these Pharisees who slander and make fun of Christ, yet you don't see it the other way around. Now, I'm not saying that as any social thing, but anyone who wants to go back to the Pharisees to try to get any knowledge is an idiot. John Hagee has taught the Talmud is good, even though the Talmud speaks against Christ. And they speak of things retroactively. Well, for somebody to be a Jew, they need to obey Maimonides. When Maimonides said this and this and this about the Messiah, well, the Messiah, let's look at the messianic prophecies in the Torah or the Tanakh. They're not spelled out. They're in between things. They're not. It's not clear cut. Okay, this is a messianic prophecy. This isn't. The idea of the suffering servant. Daniel gives a perfect time frame for when the Messiah is going to come. So he either had to come within 1 century before or after Common Era, AD. Using stupid language, Common Era, ridiculous. Or else he's not coming. So it's ridiculous when people look at Maimonides and then look at the Old Testament through Maimonides' lens as if, oh, that'll give some insight. No, that's somebody who had already rejected Christianity, the apostles, everything about Christianity. I mean, he was very late. He was living in Muslim-occupied Spain. So, what do we think of the people who rejected Christ and went along with the Pharisees? A total and absolute rejection of them. Why? Because they totally and absolutely rejected Christ. They're the only people on earth who based their religion on the rejection of Christ in trying to keep Mosaic law. When Christ and the apostles said that's dead, you will not find life in that. You search the scriptures for eternal life, but you will not find them. And it's sad to see people running back to this as if that's an appropriate thing to do, to look into that. And you could just see all the carnage that's built up. I said, when somebody said, well, how do you view the Old Testament? I said, just look at Jonah. What about Jonah? Jonah was given a commission, go preach to these people. Well, I don't like those people. Well, no, the wrath of God is coming down. Good, I want to see him destroyed. I want you to just drop a bomb on him. I want to see him destroyed. So Jonah tries to run away. The story goes, a big fish ate him. This is a parable, okay, or whatever, story, allegory, I don't care how you view this. It doesn't affect the outcome of the message. If you want to take it as literally true, that's fine. There's no harm done there. So he gets swallowed by this big fish for 3 days, and gets spit out up on land. So because he prays to God, saying, I'll go do it. So he goes there, starts preaching. People are coming to him, so he tries to mess up the preaching and starts preaching really harshly, and it just makes all the people obey, and they put sackcloth on, they repent, and they say, God, forgive us. So he runs up on the nearest mountainside, and he said, okay, throw the bomb on him, blow him up. God said, no, my mercy, I forgive them. And so Jonah gets really sad because he doesn't see all these people, these Gentiles, just butchered, murdered, and slaughtered, and their children killed and everything. Gets really sad about that. So he sits down, and he's hot. Oh, no. So this pea plant, or whatever it is, grows up, this vine, and kind of shades him, and then God strikes that, and it withers and dies. And he feels worse about the pea plant than he does about, potentially a whole city of people being destroyed. And he whines to God, I should have just been dead. He's acting like a 14-year-old valley girl at this point. As he pretty much acts throughout the whole story. And God comes back and chastises him and says, you cared more about that plant than you did about a city of people. Jonah's a jackass. What were we told about Jerusalem? What do they do to prophets? They kill them. The chosen people are always called a wicked nation, that they're horrible. Well, when the light of the Gentiles comes, and pretty much all over the world he gets accepted. Ethiopia, Rome, Greece, Anatolia, Persia, India, Spain, everywhere accepts it. Yeah, there's harsh persecutions, but there's people in all lands that want to accept this idea, and it spreads like wildfire. But there's a group of people who don't like this, who are holdouts, who say, no, and actually went on to persecute Christians up until the advent of Islam, which is one of the arguments Muslims make. Hey, we saved the Christians from these people. The massacre at, I did a video about it, I forget what it's called. Yeah, I'll bring it up on here next time, but anyone following that group, the Pharisees, the modern day Pharisees, totally cut off, and they have taken many ideas. And they've also taken a lot of pagan ideas too. Zohar, which is extremely pagan. These people are not, they're legalists and they're supremacists. They believe that they are superior because they're descended from Abraham, but they're not descended from Abraham. So that might answer a lot of questions, these little questions that I get about this kind of stuff. Alright, peace to you. May God save Serbia, and have a happy Easter week. I guess this is, I don't know if you guys have Bright Week, but these next 2 weeks for you would be Bright Week then. Take it easy. Or in The Simpsons, they did this thing where Krusty the Clown was in Israel or whatever. I hate the new Simpsons. The Simpsons really have sucked for the last 10 years. There's really no good Simpsons episodes. You know, about over 10 years, probably since 2000, 2001, there hasn't been a good Simpsons episode. There's a lot of stuff in the Talmud that says Jesus and John the Baptist and the Virgin Mary, who's not considered a virgin by them, are in a place boiling in either excrement or semen, depending on the translation. So I don't know about, they don't believe in hell. If you take all the passages, this is Yusuf here, and I want to wish all the Western Christians Happy Easter. Getting to some things, this is some stuff that I covered a little bit in some of my videos, but not very much. I mentioned that but he's in Israel or whatever, and he's like, well, I should make a pilgrimage to Jerusalem in case I go to hell, and Lisa goes, Jews don't believe in hell. Yeah, they do. Yes, absolutely. And I know everybody's going to go, no, Orthodoxy has affected many other faiths, many other religions, and many people don't even know about it. And I also mentioned there's a certain group of Pharisees that still exists that pray a certain way that is almost a model for us how not to pray. I'm going to go into that more.